Hey, this is Maggie Rogers, and you're watching Nardwuar's Video Vault.
Nardwuar. 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 Nardwuar.
Who are you?
My name's Maggie, and I'm a musician, and yeah, I make music.
Maggie Rogers, welcome to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here.
Right off the bat, Maggie, I have a gift for you right here. It is a signed Bob Massey Janis Joplin proof.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Because you love the Joplin, don't you?
Yeah, I think she's cool. Wow, that's really amazing. Thank you so much. That's very cool.
So, Maggie Rogers, it all started at age 3 in a bathroom?
I'm not totally sure if I know what you're talking about.
With your sister.
What? How do you... Yeah. Sorry, I'm just like overwhelmed. I don't know if I've like really talked about that in an interview before.
We can move beyond the bathroom.
We can talk about it. So basically, yeah, what happened was I remember like I was always, maybe not 3, but like maybe 4 or 5. My sister and I shared a bathroom, and I remember singing and hearing it for the first time, which is a weird thing to say because I feel like when you're singing, you hear it always because it's outside of your body. But I remember singing and being like, oh, that like sounds nice, or like that's something I could do, and then noticing that it was something that was like different from the rest of my family. Yeah. That's crazy.
And now we are here by a washroom.
Yeah, it's very thematic.
Will Dawkins, Abby Ward, Whitney Sterling, Lady Larkin.
These are the names of people in my middle school. And I played Lady Larkin in a middle school play of Once Upon a Mattress. I think I played Lady Larkin. I'm assuming if that's the character you mentioned, that was the
country school.
Yes, that's where I went in Easton, Maryland. Yeah.
What was it like at the country school? The principal shook your hand every morning?
Yes, he did. It was very
That's amazing.
Very good manners. Yeah, and teaching people about morality. It's good stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say about middle school. Middle school sucks for everyone, you know? It was awful.
What about Sela?
So Sela was my kindergarten buddy when I was in the 8th grade. There's not really a story. She's really lovely. I'm sure she's a full-grown adult now, but I haven't spoken to her since she was in kindergarten.
And you are Maggie?
And I was Maggie. Yep.
Roger.
I'm Maggie Rogers, yes.
Now, tuning a friend's banjo, that led you to the banjo?
Yeah. My friend, Molly Belk, since we're using all my friends' names, Molly Belk had a banjo, and she lived across the hall from me in high school, and she had a banjo, and she asked me to tune it, and then I kept stealing it for more and more amounts of time, and then I became a banjo player.
And I have another gift for you right here, Maggie Rogers. A Planets LP.
God! Oh, this is so cool.
Now, this is important to you, isn't it?
Oh, this is so important to me. So the Planets...
On vinyl.
That's so insane. That's so cool. So the Planets was one of my first CDs, and I used to just play it over and over and over again, and I was super obsessed with this idea that music could tell a story without words. And the Planets does that, except it's based around the like Greek and Roman interpretations of what all of the planets mean. Wow, I don't know how you found this. That's amazing.
Because you're Maggie Rogers.
Wow, I know. I guess you found it because you're Nardwuar, but this is some crazy Nardwuar shit. Wow, I'm so overwhelmed. Honestly, I'm just like, this is crazy. I didn't think you were going to be asking me about Whitney Sterling.
The Eagles cabin. The boys in the Eagles cabin.
What? I'm
12 years at camp, the Eagles cabin?
Yep. When I was 14, I went to summer camp, and my camp was all girls, and we were pen pals with the boys' cabin of our age group at the like boys' camp. Sorry, I can't even like talk anymore. And the camp. Sorry, the cabin's name was the Eagles, and I think I was in a cabin called White Mountain. It's camp stuff. I love camp. Yeah, I went to camp for 12 years. I'm a camp girl.
And you sailed against Holden from the Del Water Gap?
Yeah, I was in.
Could you explain that?
I went to college, and when I got there, I met someone that looked super familiar, and we started a band. And turns out that I knew him from summer camp. Yeah. And then I was in the band for like a year, and then I just kept making solo music. And he still makes a ton of music. It's really great.
And you recognize him from summer camp, sailing races.
Yeah, we used to sail against each other. It's crazy.
From knowing what his boat looked like?
Well, I knew what his face looked like from the sailing.
And you are Maggie.
Maggie Rogers.
Maggie Rogers. And Maggie, you...
Maggie Rogers.
Maggie Rogers.
Nardwuar.
And you also got an accordion for Christmas?
Yeah, when I was 17 or 18, I really wanted an accordion, and I got one for Christmas, and I learned how to play it, but I don't know how to play it anymore.
Well, I have something, a gift for you to relive your experiences with an accordion. Canada's polka king, Gabi Haas.
Thank you. I look forward to exploring Mr. Haas's work.
Was it that type of accordion?
No, it was a squeeze box, which is a smaller instrument most frequently used in the Irish music tradition.
You know your instruments, don't you?
I am a big nerd. Yeah.
What was the instrument that your parents gave you from Peru?
I'm just... my parents gave me a charango, which is a 8-stringed, like, it's like a big ukulele, and it makes a very pretty sound.
The night cat and the coffee cat.
So the night cat is where I made my first, played my first show. It's a little coffee place in Eastern Maryland that doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, I played banjo, expectedly.
The night cat and the coffee cat. I love that.
Right, yeah, they're next door to each other.
Well, speaking of Easton and your parents, are you homesick, Maggie?
Oh, yeah, I am kind of homesick. I've been on the road for a really long time.
And here's something to bring you back home right here. A gift for you, Maggie. Some Old Bay.
That's amazing. Thank you.
What can you say about Old Bay?
Old Bay is the number one thing to give any Maryland girl. It is a seasoning that goes on crabs, preferably Maryland blue crabs, and which is a favorite springtime summer treat. My birthday's in about 10 days, and I'm going to be right around Maryland, and I think I'm going to have a little crab feast. So I'll bring this because it's not complete without it.
Is it hard to explain to your parents, and especially your parents' friends, what you do?
My parents get it, and they're incredibly supportive, and they have seen my life and get it. My parents' friends definitely maybe get it now. There was a while where, like, my parents' friends, I was in like Vogue, and my parents' friends were still like, are you making enough money to eat? And it's just like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, it's cool. I think now that I've been on SNL, they have started to get it more. But they're also, my parents' friends are also incredibly supportive.
What about your dad's friend buying all the merch at one of your gigs?
God. I cannot possibly understand. Like, did you hack my email? Like, what the fuck?
Well, you were Maggie Rogers. We have to know.
I know, but yeah, at my very first show, not my very first show, like, post the viral video stuff. My very first show for the EP, I guess I should say, because I have 2 other records. My very first show for the EP was in Baltimore, and my dad's friend came up. My best friend from college, sorry, I'm not telling the story very well. My best friend from college, Taylor, was selling merch for us, and it was her very first night selling merch, and my dad's friend wanted to buy all of our t-shirts. And so she immediately called the tour manager and was like, help, like it's day one, like I don't know what to do. Someone wants to buy the t-shirts. And we told him that he could not do that because we needed some t-shirts to go to Charlottesville. Yeah, that's it.
Maggie Rogers, you got little Yachty on stage, and then you grabbed his phone?
I did, yeah.
What happened?
Well, Yachty he's a very dear friend of mine, and I think he's brilliant, and I really care deeply about him. And he came to my Atlanta show, and he's always been super supportive and comes to my shows. Since Music Hall of Williamsburg, he came to like some of the very first New York shows. And in the middle of Light On, Yachty decided to come dance. So he walked on, and I told him, I was like, my stage, your stage, whatever you're feeling, like, you know, you're always welcome here. And so he came and danced with me during Light On, which was awesome. And then he stayed on the stage, which is maybe something that happens in hip hop, but doesn't really happen in like the indie world so much, or like alternative music. So I didn't really know what to do, but I was like, I told him he was welcome, and he was welcome. He was fine to chill, even though I then like was playing Past Life, which is like sort of a slower, intensely emotional song. It wasn't like a party moment. And then the next song was Overnight, and I looked back in the middle of the song, and he was on his phone. And I was like, dog, like you could come to my show, but like be here. So I took his phone away.
And you also cried at Capitol Studios, The Vault?
Yes, I don't know why I'm like surprised anymore that you know all this stuff, but one of the few places I have cried by just walking into a room, because I cry. I guess I cry a lot, but it's usually not the room that moves me. One was when I walked into SNL, and the other was when I walked into the tape vault at Capitol Studios, because they have all these original like Miles Davis Bitches Brew. They've got Pet Sounds. It's just like it's so cool to just know that the tape it's like a conductor. It's the thing in the room when this creative lightning moved through people. It's really special.
And who do you have in the room right now, Maggie? Who's there?
Rennie! Ren is here. Ren Evans, my trusty friend who is on this tour, and she takes really beautiful photos. She kills it. We also have in the room Mike Keidel, who is my tour manager, and he has been my tour manager since the very first day I was on tour.
And we also have Liz from Universal helping you out.
We met about 5 minutes before this, and she very generously was like, just want to make sure you know what you're in for.
Nardwuar, the human serviette.
Yeah, don't know if you're expecting a human serviette, but the original is going to be in the room.
Why should people care about Maggie Rogers? Why should people care?
I don't think I've ever asked people to care, and I think that's part of it. Is like music is something that I make because I feel like I have to. It's just like the way that I express myself, and if it resonates with other people, that's great, and if it doesn't, like that's cool too. There's a lot of music.
Well, thanks very much, Maggie Rogers. Keep on rocking in the free world, and doot doot doo.
Doot doot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just